Alrighty, here we are back here. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on the map on the right. So again, this field was originally grass or clover. So it has been harvested a couple more times than the adjacent fields, which is why the pH map is a little bit darker shades of green than the adjacent field too. And so cutting the grass 3 times a year does count as a harvest. So 2 years of cutting grass, you're going to have to run a soil analysis. Most of the time, you can go 6 years between soil analyses and it's not a problem. The only other time, at least with this geo, would be if you're doing barley corn cycle, because you can plant barley in the fall, you can harvest it early summer and still be in the corn planting period, so you can immediately plant corn. You can harvest that and still get another crop in, so that's 2 harvests in 1 year. It's the only combination, maybe cotton, maybe barley and cotton, but it's the only real combination you can use on the geo we have embedded on this map. Most maps, no, it's one per year unless your geo is favourable to having growth during the winter. Most geos, no, winter is a no-go. So you only get 1 crop out per year, but you do get 3 grass cutting points per year, if you time it right. And for grass, it includes clover, alfalfa, I think horsegrass as well, or whatever it's called. Again, we haven't played with that. And that's primarily because we're not doing horses. I'm not doing alfalfa because I don't have cows. And cows do the alfalfa thing. Sheep need clover, so since we've gone full in for sheep, we are kind of stuck with the clover. Now we could have done grass, but clover and grass are synonymous, at least for our purposes, and clover isn't adversely affected by weather, by seasons, like grass is. It would have been nice if clover had similar properties, but that's probably too many modders trying to work together. Obviously, I think the farming agency are the guys that did Maize Plus, and they're not going to mess with the code for seasons, and likewise Realismus, who are seasons, aren't going to be. They could mess with their code if they knew how Maize Plus was coded, but it's not a huge issue. How are we doing? So actually, I wasn't expecting to use quite so much lime on these fields, but on reflection, since we are at our 3rd harvest, it has meant that we're pretty much base game levels of lime. Although with precision farming you have the ability to do this with the spreader still turned on, and it will not use up lime while you're running over bits of the field that are already covered. Turn off that bit, and this should be. How does this look? Okay. I think this field is completely done except for the tree line along the top here. And I will leave this loaded up because we're going to be using it in a couple of months. Probably shouldn't, but yeah, stuff. And there we go. Stamp on the brake. And you think you finished? I think you did not. Oh, well, okay then. Drop that, turn it on, and looks like we're running a complete loop. No, maybe not. Okay, we still have the west edge of the field still to do. I'm guessing there's tidy ups over there, yeah, and along the top. That's probably good. Off you go. And then back on. Okay, we can take this thing off to the yard. Probably in cab. Still struggling. So yeah, with this done, we're really now looking at feeding the dog. Hey dog! You roll on the tyres, why don't you? Yeah, we've got sheep feeding to do for 4 more days after this one, and that'll bring us through to the fall. And then we'll be keeping an eye on the crop growth. I suppose I could plan ahead a little. See if we can get this thing a little bit cleaner. Really doesn't get clean. I do like this. Take it into the workshop and you can customize it to different weights by adding or removing plates. So kind of like switching tires on a tractor. Alrighty, let's bring this in here. Stop, engine, exit. Repair, indeed. Wasn't paying attention to how much that cost. $285 and too far in. There we go. Repair the weight for $6. So how much did that cost us? $2,086 to repair our Our tractor, property maintenance 84, yeah, know about that. Fuel costs 1,000 already today, 1,400 wage payments and 12,000. Guessing 12,000 for the lime. Okay. Oops. Gonna miss. I think there's now a quick view mod, or quick look mod on FS22, but I do like the feature that pans the camera in the direction you're turning. So as I turn that way, I'm not doing anything to adjust my field of view. That's all just me turning the wheel and a mod adjusting the camera view. I have no idea if I can do this or not. Oh, definitely inside the shed shadow. I think that went in at a bit of an angle. We are probably around about good there. Oh, we're more than good. Yeah, I did. Kind of messed that reverse up a bit. Okay, so done with that. Yeah, I could have parked it a little bit further to the left. So this can go in the shed. Oh. And unfortunately our 800 has stopped what it was doing. And I know for a fact it's not out of seed. Don't have to turn the camera when you're using... When I stick it in reverse, it automatically looks backwards. So and when I stick it in four-wheel drive, it looks forwards. There's enough room there. There's adequate room there. Let's go find the 800. Yeah, you didn't get on very well with that task, did you? Well, I guess I'm doing the rest of this field myself. I think what I might do is tidy off the top and then finish off this corner. So on the whole, we're not doing too badly now. So we've got all of our harvested fields prepared for winter. Not going to worry about the nitrogen levels. pH levels are good. We might have to lime our clover field. We're going to have to cut clover in the next couple of days as well. Maybe day 8, if we're lucky, or day 9 will be a clover cut day. And then we'll probably lime them over winter because it's going to be adversely affecting the pH. The pH is going to be bad in the clover fields because of all the cuts we've done there. And then who's next? Oh, there's a patch over there. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to have any situation where we need to reanalyze any of our fields. Obviously, if we buy a field, it will need to be analysed, but again, that's if we buy something. Now, we should end up with a lot of money come spring, since our income tends to be winter income. At least for the crops. The sheep are most definitely a spring-based income, and we did make a very nice amount from all the wool and the meat sales. So that turned out quite well. It's given us a lot of money right now, but as I said, we wanted to buy the self-propelled sugar beet harvester. It's definitely gonna happen this year. So I deliberately didn't make any huge purchases over the summer. We bought this tractor, and we bought the Bailey trailer. But apart from that, we've tried to keep the expenses low. And we definitely have enough for a sugar beet harvester in the fall. And I don't think I factored in the header cost. But I don't think that's going to be a problem, since, as I said, we've got clover cuts coming up within the next couple of days. So sometime during late summer we'll be cutting clover, which will be completely wrapped and sold at the BGA. So that's all straight income for the next two clover cuts will be all straight income. Our first cut of the year was a split of hay and silage, both of which we needed for the sheep, so that's a thing for us. But the rest of the year it's going to be straight silage. Hopefully, if we cut enough hay this year, the hay may last us into the summer. I tend to prefer to make the hay during the summer because it's drier, so it's going to dry out easier. Obviously, that is an issue for seasons and grass, but for clover, because it doesn't act like grass, it's not quite so much of a thing. But if you want to be semi-realistic, make hay during the summer, make silage during the fall and the spring, at least in the UK. I'm doing this edge just because how close we were to the edge of the field or the hedgerow. It's easier to turn left here than it is to turn right, although now that we've got the space, I can go back this way. Okay. We are very close to finishing this one off. Oh, we've got the sugar beet harvesting equipment to sell. Okay, so we've got some equipment to sell, which we may do after I've finished all of it. I might do the headland in field 3 and then just set off a worker for a little bit. We'll go grab the case and take our used equipment down to the store and get it sold. I like that plan. I've been trying to avoid that, but the cedar does take a little while to drop, and so I've been missing small bits here and there. Okay, I'm just going to do a U-turn. And go back and get that bit, and I think this field is complete. And again, as a cover crop, it doesn't have to look pretty. Alrighty, head back to 3. We've still got 1,000 litres of seed left. That's not going to be enough to do our remaining fields, although how I could put the one crop we haven't done, the entirety of this playthrough, is soybeans. And that's primarily because soybeans does not fit with the crop rotation of seasons. But with precision farming, there's other factors at play. So maybe we just do that. Oh, Mr. UPS is here. I am expecting stuff. Actually, since oh, it's for the guy across the road. That's different. Back when he had his grandkids living with him, and we assume his son and his wife, whatever, but her kids. They used to get lots and lots and lots of stuff from UPS and FedEx and what have you. Now it's just Grandad. He doesn't get quite so much stuff. It looks like Mr. UPS still had a box in his hand. Yep. Guessing that one's mine. Okay, well that's one of 3. I'm not going to jump up and grab it, but stay away from the spiky hedge, dude. There are stretches of this field where we do slow to sub 10 miles an hour. Like I said, the horsepower of this tractor is just adequate for this implement. But our big tractors were on heavy stuff, so we'll stick with this. We've already got 10 hours on this tractor. We only bought it a couple of months ago. So definitely justified its purchase, I would say. Okay, that's the first lap. Off you go. Case. Okay, let's go to the store. We'll pull out this thing. I think probably stick it next to the watery thing, the washer. Okay, that's the sugar beet topper. That's the potato topper, which we know doesn't work on sugar beets, and this is the sugar beet harvester. Already got rid of the potato harvesting equipment. While it's realistic, it was a real pain in the butt to use in single player. This is good. It's got a good working width and a fair capacity. I mean, it's not brilliant, but for less than 100,000, it's a good starting setup if you want to get into sugar beets. The potato one really, well, we didn't. That was the thing with the potato one. We went for the new Grimmer DLC. So the thing that dug potatoes out of the ground and then stuck them in windrows, and then the collector which collects the windrows. And I've seen YouTube videos of people using that equipment, and it's really good to have it in game. The problem is as a one-player piece of equipment, oh my goodness, no thank you. This definitely works. I could set a worker off on both these pieces of equipment. That was the thing, you couldn't use a worker with the potato equipment because you're collecting a windrow of potatoes, and it's exactly like you can't use a worker to run a baler. It can't see windrows, so it doesn't do anything. The only way to get a worker to operate a baler is to use follow me, where the worker can just follow a harvester or a windrower or a mower system that windrows, and that works. But you know, just setting a worker off on the side of the field, they'll do the windrows, they'll do the mowing, they'll do the tedding, but they will not do the baling. So